Shasta County Sheriff's Office PIO Tim Mapes here, and we are continuing our series, Shasta County Jail, A Closer Look. And today we are taking a closer look at the correctional deputy position. As you know, this is a position of critical need for our department, and we are actively recruiting for men and women to take on this career and serve their community. All right, so today we are welcoming in a few members of our organization who have done just that, and we're going to get their perspective on the job. So I'm going to introduce the folks that have joined us today. We have Captain Logan Stonehouse, our Custody Division Commander. We have Sergeant Larry Tanner with the Custody Division, and Lieutenant Dale Marler, who you may remember from our last installment. So first, we're going to get right into things very quickly. First, what is your current position? We'll just go maybe left to right, and what division you are assigned to, and talk about where you started your careers and where you are now.
Yeah, so currently I'm the captain of the Custody Division. I've been here for about a year, a little over a year. Started my career at the Plumas County Sheriff's Office on patrol, transferred over to Shasta County in 2008, and I was on patrol all the way up until just a few years ago when I promoted to lieutenant at the coroner's office, and then I got transferred over to the Jail Custody Division, like I said, July of 22.
Sergeant Tanner?
I'm the administrative sergeant in the Custody Division. Started in 2002 as a correctional deputy. In 2011, got promoted to sergeant, and right now working as the administrative sergeant.
And Lieutenant Marler.
I'm a lieutenant here in the jail, and I'm over the services and programming. I started my career in 2003 and decided to make this a career. I did not have aspirations of going out to patrol or going to any other agency, and I worked as a correctional officer when I started for 7 years, and then I worked as a sergeant for 7 years, and now I've been a lieutenant for 7 years. So it's been a great career, and I'm still enjoying it.
All right, and that kind of segues right into our next question that I'm going to ask all of you. This is a big question that people have out there. Some use corrections as an entry to their career into law enforcement and eventually pursue a career on the patrol side. But corrections is a true career. There are a lot of people that stay in the correction side of law enforcement. So this is a question for Lieutenant Marler and Sergeant Tanner. Tell me about your decision. What made you, like you said, when you started to decide to stay in corrections and make this your career?
Well, I can see it was a very stable job, and it was interesting because it's something different every day. There's never 2 days of the same, and I like that aspect of it. I'd done many other jobs before I landed on this one, and some of them were good and some of them were very bad. I know what a bad job is. This is a good one. So I appreciate what this career brings to my life and the stability of it. I like that it's not hot. It doesn't rain on me. It's a jail. It's inside.
Yeah, a lot of careers can have the good and the bad, and there are some good things for working for the county and county government with the, like you said, the benefits and a retirement that you're working for and that type of thing. So, Sergeant Tanner, what about you? What made you decide when you started? You're like, hey, this is my career. I'm going to stay in corrections.
Yeah, so I did have aspirations of going out to patrol. Life events happened. Allowed me to stay here in the Custody Division. I had different jobs within the Custody Division. Started off, like I said, working the floors. Went on to become a classification officer, which is a little different than working floors. You actually are in charge of the housing, the incarcerated persons to being housed in the jail. It's kind of a little different than just working the floor. Was a jail training officer. Again, different job. Teaching the new correctional deputies, how to work. Then I became sergeant. So just a lot of things was different jobs, and I liked it, and I decided to stay.
All right, perfect, thank you. So piggybacking on that, going into what can corrections do, and I think all of you can answer this a little bit, what can corrections do to assist with any career in law enforcement, and the training and the experience that you get here in this facility or in corrections in general really can help you for other positions in law enforcement, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I think anybody that starts in the correctional field will get a ton of training experience that they wouldn't get out on the street because they're dealing with inmates on a daily basis. They're building rapport with those inmates. They're learning how to talk to those inmates, learning how to interact with them. So, if eventually they did go to patrol, they would already have that in their toolbox, so to speak. But it really prepares you for any position in law enforcement, just because of everything they do. Like Lieutenant Marler said earlier, nothing's the same on a daily basis. So you're continuously learning the law enforcement field in the custody division and all the rules and regulations that come along with that through the state and everything else. So I think it's a huge benefit for anybody.
Okay. You guys have anything to add to that in terms of what corrections does for other positions in law enforcement?
Yeah, if somebody feels like they're maybe a little timid or they think they couldn't do a position like this, once you get in here and you're comfortable with what you're doing, it brings out a comfort level of being able to speak to people. There's not a lot of interaction anymore in society, it seems like, or it's less and less. In here, you have to interact with humans every day. And learn how to de-escalate situations and take control and be a counselor when you need to, and be a principal when you need to as well. So it's really helpful to any career outside of this field. If somebody works in here for a little while, it just improves their whole way of looking at the world and maturity.
Okay. Sergeant?
Yeah, I think, it gives you confidence when you're working in here. You got different hats you have to wear. You have to be a disciplinarian sometimes. You have to be empathetic sometimes. You have to be sympathetic sometimes. Like you say, you got to be a counselor. So there's many different hats you have to wear. So the only thing it gets you ready for law enforcement, it kind of gets you, it's life inside here. So.
All right, perfect. And the sergeant actually segued right into our next question, which is perfect. We have open positions. That's the elephant in the room. We have a lot of open positions that we need to fill to get the floor of this jail open. What type of, and you all have been successful in your career, so what do you feel the traits that are needed in candidates that we are looking for? I mean, what are some of those things people out there are saying, like, if they were to hear from you guys, what those traits that people need in their personalities is going to help them be successful?
I'll just throw a couple out there and I'll let these guys chime in, but, someone that's a hard worker that's just willing to come to work and put in the hours and time it takes to learn this job is huge. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. You don't learn this overnight. This is a process, but someone that's willing to learn that would be very beneficial. And also, someone that's willing to take on something new, because no one really knows what this is like until you come in this facility, come into the custody division. So someone who comes in with an open mind and is ready to really just learn the job, that's what we're looking for, because I think we can teach you the job. It's just a matter of you having that open space to allow yourself to learn it. So.
Okay.
Like Lieutenant, or like the captain was saying, a hard worker, someone with integrity, someone with good ethics, somebody that's mind strong, I want to say, because the job's not physically demanding, but it's more mental. So the mental aspect comes into it because you're always dealing with, people that are trying to look to kind of manipulate you in a certain sense. So having a strong mind to get you through that daily, the day-to-day events will get you through.
Perfect.
Dedication to a career. This is not an average job. This is not a temporary job. This is a career. So someone who's looking for a career, a long-term commitment, wants to constantly grow, because there's always something to learn in this profession. That's somebody I'd be looking for. And everything that these two already said: honesty, integrity, and hard work ethic.
Okay. And I think one thing, that this is where we'll probably end here, that people need to realize that we actually have a very diverse workforce that is here in this jail. I mean, I think people have a stereotype of who they think is working in a facility like this, but people need to realize we have men, we have women, we have some that are younger, we have some that have started this career later in their lives when they wanted to try something different. So there really could be, if you're somebody out there watching this video and you're thinking about a career change, you know, this might be the one for you no matter where you are in your career path, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We have multiple positions within the facility. So we have what's called public safety service officers. Those are basically non-contact positions with inmates, you know, and we have all walks of life that can actually apply for those. It doesn't really matter. Obviously, you have to be 18, but you can apply for those positions, and you won't actually have that interaction with the inmates one-on-one. Now, obviously, that goes into the correctional deputy side where we have those positions available as well. There's different regulations we have to do to get people hired for that. But again, all walks of life. It doesn't matter what background you come from. It doesn't matter, you know, how old you are. It doesn't matter where you grew up. It's just who wants to actually take this on as a career, and we're willing to take anybody with that open mind. So. Yeah, the diversity within the facility, you know, men, women, different ethnic backgrounds, different upbringing. It just, you know, all walks of life in here. So.
All right. Anything to add, or do you think we've pretty much hit it all?
I think anybody that's looking for a good career is the right person.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
They said it.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. As always, I thank you guys for taking the time to, out of your busy days, helping operate this facility to educate the public on this. And again, if someone wants to find out more about our open positions, they can go to our website. You can click on the career opportunities page. And as for these videos, as we've said before, you can go to the jail tab, and underneath that, there is a tab that says Shasta County Jail, a closer look. And we want to thank you and the public for taking the time to learn more about the operations at the Shasta County Jail.